To live
for up
off
to
on
a
that.
year.
Yep.
Here's the best part. There's the paternity leave. So meaning you and your wife can share that maternity leave. So if she says, I'll take 9 months, you take three, you can do that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Right? Yeah,
Okay.
but you're the one at home breastfeeding the baby. No, okay.
Every year, thousands of people migrate to other countries in search for a better life.
Each one with a story to tell of courage and determination.
Adjusting to a new country is not that easy.
Here at Migrant Tribe, we honor you.
So join us as we share our stories from our journey down under.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Migrant Tribe Stories from Our Journey Down Under, episode 47. This is Joseph. In today's episode, I'll be speaking to another good friend, and he'll be sharing with us his journey to Canada. Okay, like how he first started working in a hotel as a bellman and eventually working his way up to management. And also, he'll be sharing with us some of the benefits of being a Canadian citizen. So here we go now. Hello, it's me again. So together with me is another good friend that I've known from way back. He's now based in Toronto, Canada. So a big Migrant Tribe welcome to Ricky. Hi, Ricky. How you doing?
I'm good, good. Thank you. Hello, good evening, or good morning. I guess whichever time you watch this.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, so to start us off, is it true that the reason you moved to Canada was your favorite food was pancakes? And we all know that in one of Canada's national treasure is maple syrup. Is that true? Is that why you moved to Canada? Because of the maple syrup?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That's why wouldn't I move here for that, right? Siyempre, maple syrup, pancakes, paborito, di ba? Yeah, absolutely. The one and only reason why I moved here.
Okay, good.
And then there's this.
yes, we don't know. Okay, we'll get to that later. Okay. So to start another question. So what year did you migrate to Canada, and share with us how your life was when you first arrived in Canada? What were some of the adjustments that you had to go through?
Okay, so let's break that down. First, when I moved. So moved here, in 1992.
Okay.
So I moved here in 1992. And what was the other question? What was life like?
When you first started, when you first moved to Canada?
Got it. So I have to tell you, let's go back a little bit, right? So when I moved to Canada, life was not easy. Life was not easy for several reasons, right? Keep in mind, 1990 to 1992 was one of the deepest recessions in Canada.
Oh, okay.
So really bad time. It's a really bad time to arrive, right? Highest in poverty line, something like it was being compared to like the yung Great Depression. Businesses were closing, unemployment was high, real estate was pretty much
unaffordable.
Devalued at 50% devalued and unaffordable.
Okay.
Interest rates were like 15%. Like, who can afford that, right? So it was a really, really bad time. So to answer your question, when I first moved here, I regretted it. It's like life was so hard. I'm like, why am I even here, right? And keep in mind, I came from Hong Kong. So after LaSalle Green Hills, UST, went to Hong Kong. Hong Kong was booming. And then I moved to Canada. I'm like, oh my goodness, for the maple syrup, right? And I was like,
and this,
I want to go back to dim sum and noodles, right? I mean, it was so bad. It really was like, get me out of here, right? So really, really bad. However, is it okay if I fast forward to today?
Yes, today. Good, no, that's fine.
And the reason why I want to fast forward is because I don't want to leave anyone with that impression. Okay, so it's an old impression. It's a very incorrect story. Because today, even with the pandemic, Canada is one of the best countries to live in. And I'm not just saying that, right? You can Google this. I'm sure people have.
Right.
Canada's one of the top countries. Toronto's always in
Quality
the
of
top
life.
10,
Yep.
not the top 10 cities in the world. So
Mhm.
it's great to be here right now. So if I arrived here today, it would be a very different story. It's a very different story from 1992 when I arrived, where it was really, really pathetic.
Yes.
And then you're asking about adjustment.
Yes. Some of the adjustments you had to go through.
Yeah, a lot, a lot. So first of all, I guess I was in Hong Kong, went back to Philippines, and while I was in the Philippines during high school and university, syempre, you get spoiled. Why? You have somebody who cooks, somebody who makes up your bed, somebody cleans your room, a guy who washes your car.
Exactly.
You even have a driver when you need one. In other words, we were living a good life.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved to Canada, and this is basically a do-it-yourself world. No one's gonna clean my house.
Mm-hmm.
No one's gonna wash that car. No one's gonna cook for me.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest adjustment was you got to do everything yourself.
Yes.
And then on top of it, when you want stuff done in your house, even changing, let's say, yung mga outlets,
Exactly. Yes.
they're gonna charge you like $15 Canadian. I'm like, what? I mean, it's
Mhm.
crazy. You're gonna think twice, right? So in other words, do it yourself. Matututo ka.
Right.
You're really gonna have to force yourself to learn to do things, right?
Right.
That's one. And then the second thing is the major adjustment in regards to job was you'll get asked. So you arrive and then you start interviewing and then they go, "Do you have any Canadian experience?" I'm like, "Dude, I told you I just
You
got
just
here."
arrived. Okay. Kind of like a chicken and egg thing. Like, okay, so no one's gonna give me experience. So
Yeah, I got like a couple of years experience doing this, but Canadian
not
experience,
locally,
like,
not local experience.
Exactly, right? I think one of the adjustments, and for me, fortunately, because I studied in Hong Kong International School, learned English, and then of course continuing sa Pinas during the time in high school and university, and then back to Hong Kong. One of the biggest adjustments that new immigrants will find here is communication. And what I mean by that is daily conversations are in English, right?
Right.
So, and then you're going to quickly realize that you have to improve and be very, very conscious of your pronunciation, especially like the F and the P. We get teased by this a lot, right?
Right.
So I just wrote a little scenario here. So imagine you and I are in conference. I'm done speaking, and then I have to introduce you. I have to call you up as the next speaker. So here's how it's going to sound. Okay, Joseph, I've done my fart. God.
Okay.
Imagine they're gonna be two Filipinos.
Okay, got it.
So you got to be really, really conscious of that, right? And then for I have a lot of friends who ended up in Quebec. Good
Quebec.
luck. Now you also have to learn French.
French, exactly. Yeah.
It's like,
And
good luck, buddy.
Did they know that? Did they know that, or only when they arrived?
I know, because they're complaining. It's like it's hard to get around. Of course it is. Everything's in French. Oh my gosh, just to give yourself an extra problem, right? But anyway,
Right.
so there's a lot of it.
Those were kind of like the major. Well, thank God for the microwave ovens, especially if you don't cook. That's like I always said, like, microwave, that's your best friend. Okay, I've always said that. And what else? Okay, so
For adjustment, just came up. I have another one for adjustment.
oh yeah, go.
This is major because it happened to me, and I'm sure every single other Filipino who would move to Canada will go through this. Okay, so imagine we all got used to driving in Manila traffic, EDSA, making those crazy U-turns where the cars are going at the same time, right? So
Right.
you're not gonna give the other guy an inch. You're
Exactly.
fighting
Exactly.
every centimeter, right? He's like,
Yeah, like, it's traffic already, so I need to get my space. Okay, I'm in a rush.
Exactly. So this is Canada. This is the way we drive here. So first of all, watch. I'm gonna give you a visual. Okay, so I'm driving. I want to change my lane. I signal. Tick, 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 tick. I check. I check again. The guy behind me goes, "Go ahead."
Oh,
So I
okay.
changed my lane.
Uh-huh.
Once I've changed my lane, I signal back. Thank you. Are you kidding me?
You have to do all that. Okay.
What we do, it's it's a process, right? It's part of what we do here. And it took me a while to get used to it. I'm like, you kidding me? It's open. I'm in. No, you have
I'm
to,
ahead of you.
yeah.
Okay, that's the only thing that matters.
Exactly. And we didn't even signal. It's like, there's an opening, I'm in. So I needed to adjust all that, right? And then the rolling stop. Oh my goodness. You have to stop in a stop sign even when there's nobody there. Count
Exactly.
to 3 and then go. I was like, there's nobody there. There's like a rolling stop. No, you can't do that. Then cops sitting on the other side. Anyway, so I could go on. There's just so many
Right.
things
Yeah.
have to change.
Driving.
Bad habit.
Yeah, bad habits, and I guess that's how you get to be known as Filipinos. Ah, you must be a Filipino driver. Just
Exactly.
kidding. Okay.
That's
Okay. So all these adjustments, and you did mention that finding that first job was really a challenge. You gotta have local experience, but who's gonna give you local experience? So which employer actually gave you that first job in Canada? What was your first job?
You mean the crazy guy? He gave me a chance. So, yeah, again, 1992 was a rude awakening, right? Because when I was in Hong Kong, I was a little, cocky. I was the youngest Filipino executive, so hot guy there, right?
In your company back home and back in Hong Kong, yeah.
In Hong Kong, I was a
Uh-huh.
financial analyst for Citibank.
Oh, okay,
I moved to
wow.
Canada, I'm like that whole Canadian experience, like whoa. And then so I did a couple of like odd jobs, which I'm ashamed to even mention now. But I
Just to get money
yeah,
coming in.
just to do something, right?
Yeah.
And then so my first real job was actually a bellman. So the guy who welcomes the people into the hotel and
The
brings their
hotels and
luggage.
carry the luggage.
right?
Yeah.
So to me that was ouch. I was the guy walking in with the luggage, not the guy taking it, right? So it was quite a hit in my confidence, right? But I did it for 3 months, and then the front office manager saw a little bit of saw something in me, and then gave me a chance to move to the front desk.
Okay,
So
that's good.
it was actually Radisson Hotel that gave me an opportunity to answer your
Uh-huh.
question. My first real employer here, right? But yeah, so I stayed with hotel business.
Mhm,
Before being that, becoming a bellman or working the front desk,
mhm.
I really had no knowledge about the hotels, and I really liked the business, the industry. So I ended up becoming a general manager for hotels.
Oh wow.
I ended up becoming a regional director for 80 hotels across Canada.
Oh wow.
And then as a result of those experiences, it opened up the door for Expedia. So I was employee number 2 in lodging in Canada.
In Canada.
And basically, yeah, so joined Expedia in 2001, and in 13 years built it from a few $1 million annual sales to hundreds of millions of dollars in sales. So from that bellman resulted in Expedia. It's like it was one of those things that you just could not plan.
You never, I mean, if you didn't take that opportunity, it could have been different. You would have been
Very different.
Yeah, good.
Very different.
See. Taking that step, taking that leap of faith, just doing it, and you never know where it's gonna get you.
And
That's
going
good.
with that flow, as they
Yeah,
say, right?
that's good. So, and I'm sure it wasn't like a straight path. It's always going to be there's going to be turns along the way. Yeah, it's just like
And then you doubt yourself, right? Like, can I really do this? Or
Am I on
is
the
this
right
really
path,
something I wanna
actually?
do?
Exactly.
Right? It's like can I do this, or should I do this, or is this really something that I can see myself doing for a long time? And a lot of questions, right? And it just all worked out.
which is all part. They're just all part of the journey. The journeys like
Absolutely.
migrants have to take when moving there. And were you able to develop some friends in the Filipino community along the way?
I had to, because I moved here with no family. I have up to today
okay.
0 relatives here. I have 0 relatives in Canada, and
Oh.
so fortunately through acquaintances and connections. So starting off with Taekwondo. So being part of the Philippine Taekwondo Association,
Right,
there were several black belts here that were already established. So they adopted me, right?
Oh, that's
So
good.
as a result from them, spun off to other people.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just like, one group of friends to another, until now we have this core group that's kind of been together for, say, 20 years. So
Good.
parang yung talagang barkada, right? The
Good,
real
good.
barkada that we hang out with. And basically it's like, they have family but not a lot. So we kind of treat each other's family now.
Okay. Okay. If you don't mind me asking, so what, if you still remember or if it's still existing, what visa did you apply for in entering Canada? Was it a
Yeah, mine was an easy one. So at the time, when
Yes.
I went back to Hong Kong,
back in the 90s?
back in the 90s, so my girlfriend was British, Chinese, but she was a Canadian citizen. So we ended up getting married. We had a son.
Oh,
We were
okay,
flying
okay.
back and forth, and then we decided we have to decide, are we going to live in Hong Kong or Canada?
Oh.
So we agreed in the long-term Canada. So it was really easy for me. Packed my luggage, flew in here.
Mhm.
I landed. I got my PR. 3 years later, took my oath. Easy.
Easy.
I'm not the best example for the whole. What visa? I was like, I arrived. They
Arrived.
sent it. They gave me a date. Off you go. You gotta learn the
Right.
provinces. They ask you
Right.
a couple of questions. You sing the national anthem, and then you're done.
And then welcome to Canada. Okay, so
Welcome to Canada.
okay, so one as many are aware, one of the reasons that attract people to migrate in a country like Canada is what the government can provide, some of the services. In your years of being in Canada, could you give some of the personal situations where you benefited from some of the services that the government can provide, whether health or in your employment?
Yeah, so I'll give you a couple of examples. So I have two boys, and we totally benefited from the education system here because from kindergarten all the way to the end of high school,
Mhm.
you can choose between a public school or a Catholic school. That's all paid for. That's part of the taxes that we pay. So all they have to do is get their bus to school, and we're done. Right? So that's it. It's pretty, not like in the Philippines. It's like, imagine when we were in LaSalle,
Right.
tuition fee. The
Yes.
tuition fee wasn't. Ooh,
So
Right?
that's
And-
all the way to university.
yes,
All the way
yes,
to-
yes. After all the way to the end of high school, and then college and university, you're pretty much on your own. However, they also have programs that'll assist you.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
So there's two. There's actually no. The one main one is where the kids would be lent money because they
Yes.
know that university costs
Like a
so
student
much.
loan.
Like a student loan, exactly. So it's almost like an unlimited amount. Like, some of these kids buy cars and go on vacation, right? It's crazy.
Okay.
Forgetting that they have to pay it back.
Right. It's fairly similar to Australia. So usually they're like student loans, and usually they won't charge you until you're actually employed with a certain
Working. Right.
certain salary, and and I think even the interest is probably won't be that great. But I can definitely relate to that. Similar to Australia. Anything else other than education?
A lot. I'll give you three more.
Okay, good.
So one is maternity. So maternity is paid here, so up to 1 year. But here's the cool part about the whole thing, right? So they take an average of what the mom was making, and then
Right.
they basically they pay you
Live
for
off
up
on
to a
that.
year.
Yep.
Here's the best part. There's the paternity leave. So meaning you and your wife can share that maternity leave. So if she says, I'll take 9 months, you take 3, you can do that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Right? Yeah,
Okay.
but you're the one at home breastfeeding the baby. No, I'm kidding. You're the one.
Okay, so you have to
taking
take their. Okay, got that. Okay.
Oh yeah,
So,
right.
so
Because
it-
now she's back at work, right?
right. Okay, so it comes with the price. Okay. So, okay, so that's good. That's
and then
good.
then another one is what we call employment insurance, right? So
Mhm.
once you've done 420 hours of actual work,
Mhm.
you qualify. Meaning, at the end of 420 hours, if you get laid off,
Mhm.
you qualify for the employment insurance. And what it is it covers an average of up to 52% of your average salary
Mm-hmm.
for up to 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
did I personally avail of this? Well, in the 20-something years that I've been working, I used it for 5 months. My digital team got dissolved, and basically I could find the job right away. But I was
Right.
like, no way, wait a minute. This is the
Why?
only time I can use this
I'm getting paid
So
anyway
you-
to look for a job. Okay, so
job and then hang out a little bit. I did for 5 months. I was like, I'm taking a break. I was like getting offers. I'm like, no,
right.
I don't want to work it. Don't
I
offer me that job.
Not now. Okay.
Right?
Wow. Okay. That's pretty true.
To 9 months, but I was like, okay, I think that's enough, right? That's okay.
Let's not
Parang
abuse
ano
it. Okay.
Yeah. Bulakbol.
Okay.
Now, what's the English word for that? Oh man, never even thought of that. But yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is.
Okay.
And then I have a last one.
Okay. Good.
So I'm not benefiting from it yet, but when the time comes, it's called the Canada Pension Plan. So
Uh-huh.
basically, when you're a senior and you hit 65 years old,
Mhm.
you get an average of $1,200 Canadian a month. It's not huge, but
But
hey, if you have a simple
you'll
life,
pay the basic bills. Yeah.
it'll pay the basics. Exactly. You can get by, right? It's food, it's whatever, you
Mhm.
can get around. So, yeah, it's,
That's good.
a nice little bonus.
And if you could also cite, let's say, how did the Canadian government handle when the pandemic struck?
Yeah, so they actually, of course, when you're here, you hear, everybody's grumbling, everybody's complaining, everybody
Mhm.
wants more.
Right.
But if you look, from outside looking in, there was subsidies for businesses.
Unemployment. Yep.
Well, they're unemployment, and then also for small businesses because they were just trying to stay open. So now the government is saying, okay, here's what we're going to do. Keep your employees employed. We
Mhm.
will pay for 70%. You pay the 30. It's not a bad deal.
Right. Right.
In other
yeah.
words, keep your doors open, right?
Yeah. Just
And
to
then so keep employed and then keep the doors open, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they're doing all those things. Then there's what we call the CERB. So CERB, I forgot what it stands for, but basically for anyone who got laid off,
Mhm.
they were getting this additional supplement. So basically they're getting something like $2,000 a month. Not bad.
Not
like
bad.
if I was a student and I was only working part-time anyway, now I'm getting a little bit more.
Mhm.
It's a good deal, right?
Right.
So the government reacted, I think, in a good way,
Mhm.
but it was open for abuse. So I would say that it would be 80% legit, 20% abuse.
Okay. And how's the situation now? 90%. How many people are fully vaxxed?
Yeah. So in terms of vaccination, we are at 87% fully vaccinated,
The whole
and
country.
then 80% the whole country, and then
Okay.
80% first dose.
Good. Okay.
And then we, just like where are you based?
Melbourne.
Didn't you guys have this massive protest for the anti-vaxxers or something
Yes,
like that?
that's us. Yes.
I saw
That's
that
us.
in the news. I'm like,
Yes, that's us.
why?
Not too
Okay.
proud of it, but yeah.
I was like,
That's us.
what? Yeah, I saw it on the news. I'm like, what? And I know that you're there. I was like, just want to confirm first, but yeah.
Yeah. That
And
was it.
yeah,
So right. Well, yes. Looking back now, I think being in Canada, I'm sure it's correct. You might hear, but some people are complaining about. But maybe compared to a lot of countries out there,
Oh.
you were pretty much way ahead.
oh my gosh, yeah.
the
That's what I'm like.
situation.
You guys don't even know what you're complaining about. But
Exactly.
okay, so naturally, here's the culture. Here's naturally Canadian. Okay, which
Okay.
I'm one of them now. Are two things: polite, as in super polite, that it's not even realistic. And then number two is they're basically complainers. We whine about every little thing, or just
Okay.
to come up with something to whine about.
Yes, I think because life is good.
Too good.
You
I was
already
gonna
run
say,
out of
there you
things
go.
to complain about. Might as well, you complain about the little things now. All right.
I didn't think of anything else.
Mhm.
So yeah, we've reached that point that life is, and that's why I keep saying Canada's a good place to live, and that's why you get, menial things like this. Like you complain about nothing because you have nothing else to complain
Complain
about.
about, right? Exactly.
What did that
Um,
tell you, right?
And if there was something that was about not so great or not so a bit of negative about living in Canada, what would it be? Most people would say the weather.
Well, the weather, you know what? You can say the weather, but doesn't anyone want to see a little bit of snow? It's almost like
Okay.
a little bit.
Well, that's kind of like understatement in Canada.
Because when I'm laughing right now, but come January and February when we have snow taller than me, I'm gonna be laughing at what I'm just saying. But I'm just trying to make it positive, right? But
Right.
because think about it, right? We're here now. We know it's 4 seasons. Adapt. So in other words,
Exactly.
when it's snowing, enjoy it. Go out, ice skate, do snowshoeing,
Mhm.
ski. We've done snowboarding. I didn't do skiing, but I've done snowboarding. It's fun,
Mhm.
right? You got to learn how to do it, right? So that could be anywhere. Again, you can be complaining about the
Right,
weather. Here's the Canadians. Look at this. What happens? It's summer. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. It's 32 degrees. Holy shit. And then it's winter. Oh my God,
it's
minus
freezing.
20. Is there, it's like, can you just set that thermostat to whatever you want?
Right. Right.
But here's what I would say that's negative. Negative. Okay. Taxes. For every dollar that we make, we pay out probably the equivalent of 55 cents in taxes when you put it all together. That's a lot.
That's
From-
both state
Income tax.
and federal.
Yeah,
Is that?
state and federal. Yeah, well, yeah, provincial and then federal,
Oh, okay.
right? If you put it all together, every buck that we make is 55 cents going out of tax. Why? The income taxes are high. The more you make, you're screwed.
Mhm.
So you fall into a bracket where you're like, 35%.
Yes, you're in the next
taken
bracket, so better to be under the bracket.
Right, which you try, but then at the same time you're going,
What
why?
for, yeah.
Why? If somebody says I'm going to give you $200,000, you're going to go, oh no, that's the next bracket. What are you going to do? Turn it down?
Right, right.
Anyway, so
Taxes.
the
Okay,
second
that's a
part
good.
of it.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
The second part is the harmonized sales tax. So that means you eat, you drink, you buy, you're getting taxed and taxed and taxed, right? And then of course there's the even the flipping of cars. That same car gets taxed like 100 times, right?
Based on
Anytime
the
you buy it,
depreciated price.
It keeps getting taxed. The moment it flips hands.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
nonstop. So anyway, so that would be my one thing that's negative because of course it'll bother you. For every dollar you're seeing 50 something cents go out.
More than half. Yeah.
But at the same time, remember what you just asked me 5 minutes ago. Benefit.
Yes, that's where it comes in. Yeah.
Maternity. We haven't even talked about the health system here.
Health
the
system.
best healthcare system in the entire world.
Yes.
Not only are recovered here, I can go to any doctor anytime, as many times. I can go 3 times a day if I want.
Had you
And I
had you
get
had to go
charged.
to an operation? That was.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
ever?
Oh
You
yeah.
did?
Oh
And it
yeah.
was
I've
fully
I've gone
covered.
through that. I just go in and out and just show my card. Like
Uh-huh.
done. Don't pay a cent. Where else can you do that, right?
Right.
Like for people that I know, they're doing cancer treatments, chemo. They don't pay a cent.
Ah.
I'm going for even like things like colonoscopy. I
Mhm.
go in and out every 5 years, no problem. Right? That's taken care of. And here's the other thing: a lot of people don't even talk about this. If I go to the Philippines or outside of Canada and I have a medical emergency,
Mhm.
I'm covered. As an
Really?
extension of my as an extension of my healthcare system here.
Really?
If I'm an
Okay.
inpatient or outpatient, they're gonna cover it as if I'm here.
You're local. Oh, okay.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, so why would I need a travel insurance, right?
Yep. Because in some, I think in the United States, there's kind of like a gray area there, and that's why they always recommend that you get travel insurance.
Oh yeah.
And I think even in some cases, you'd have to fork the money off first, and then you get refunded later, which is also kind of hassle for
Yeah.
some. But yeah, that's great. That's a great system you guys have there. Okay, so here comes like kind of simple questions. Okay, so favorite
Okay.
place in Canada?
Favorite place? One only?
It's
I'll
up
give
to
you
you. Your top
I'll
three.
give you
Okay, give your
No, just two. Okay. So, Niagara Falls.
yes.
Of course, Niagara Falls, right?
Mhm.
It's we go up to today, like in the 30-something years I've been here, 1 to 2 times a year we still go.
Mhm.
Why? Because it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. You'll just never get tired of it. And then it's on the way to Buffalo, New York. So
New York,
whenever
New York. The border.
wanna
yeah,
cross,
the border of the
it's
crossing.
the border, and then you do all the shopping, right? So
Okay.
they get better deals over there. So really, it's perfectly located. It's just that border you cross, it's shopping haven. You come back, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Why wouldn't you go there? That's number one. Number two is
Mm.
in downtown Toronto, we have the CN Tower. So the CN Tower had that title as the tallest building in the world, or tallest, the tallest freestanding structure or building in the world for 30-something years.
Okay.
Until that building in where is it, Dubai, the Burj
Yeah,
Khalifa or
Burj.
something
Yeah.
like
Yep.
Khalifa, whatever.
Yep.
So dethroned us.
Okay.
So
still,
you
yeah.
know, but still, right? Imagine like the CN Tower, with that height, you get into the elevator, it's a glass door.
Mhm.
So as you're going up, you're outside of the building in a glass door.
Mhm. Yes.
It's the coolest experience.
Cool,
so as
cool.
you're shooting up, you're like, oh my god, and then coming down,
Okay.
it's like bungee jumping.
Cool. Here, if you're a truly native of Toronto, okay, it's a trick question. Okay, not a trick question.
Okay.
Name in this order your baseball, your basketball, and your hockey teams.
Oh, baseball, Blue Jays.
Correct.
Yeah,
Baseball.
baseball, and then
Basketball,
what's number 2? Basketball, Raptors.
Raptors, your hockey team. Maple Leafs, right? Up. Something wrong with the audio.
Maple Leaf.
Yeah, correct. Yep, Maple Leafs.
Okay, okay.
You're truly. you,
You
that's the
made me
test.
nervous.
Okay, that's cool. Now, knowing what you know now, in if you had to start over, is there something you would have done differently?
Several things, but again, in the right context, because it's 1992 and 2021, very different scenarios, right? So
Right.
it's probably best to answer that with the advice I've been giving recent immigrants.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
like,
better. Yeah,
you know,
that's a good.
right? It's like,
that's a good thing.
You
Yeah.
know, if I were you,
Yes, this is what I
Right?
do. Okay.
This is what I do, right? So the first advice isn't even tangible. It's all about attitude, right? First of all, throw your pride and your ego out the door if you want to survive
Correct.
and if you want to have a good life here.
Correct.
Because that will be the number one thing that's going to stop you. Once that ego kicks in, you're not
Mhm.
going to want to be that bellman. Remember the bellman?
Exactly.
which started the path,
Exactly.
right?
That
It's
led
like,
you to.
oh hell no! What are you talking? I'm an executive. I don't carry bags.
Exactly. I don't do menial work, but No.
Yeah, sure. And then the second thing is, you got to work hard. You have to be willing to work hard. It will pay off. This is one of those countries. Yes, we get taxed, but you'll see the fruits of your hard work later on. It's like I promise you. It's one of those. It's true, right? And then the third thing is, this is about prioritization, right? While you're trying to impress people with, buying all sorts of fancy this and that, diba? Prioritize, meaning invest in a house.
Yep.
Versus a fancy car.
yes,
or
a
nice
high-end car.
whatever. Right? Because the value goes down each day, each kilometer versus a house. Well, you're building equity. Two
Mhm.
different scenarios, right?
Exactly.
And then I would also, very similar to advice, the third advice is live within your means.
Exactly.
Because there's that tendency, right? So I just moved here, 2021. I see all these guys, oh my God, they all have big houses. They all drive these luxury cars. They all have this and that. They always eat out.
But they're in
whoa,
debt.
I'm out. But they're in debt or they're already established.
Oh, okay.
You just got here.
Right.
So message is don't try to keep up with the Joneses, right?
Exactly.
It's okay. It's okay. Like it took them 30 years to have those fancy meals. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Go at your own pace, stay in your own lane, right? And then I guess the last thing, and this is just one of those that just be careful who you hang out with, because you asked me in the beginning which groups I've met
Right,
and
right.
Filipino this and that. You just got to be careful because that crowd mentality it exists and it's very real, right?
Yes,
Imagine this is a friend of mine. We were having dinner 2 weeks ago, and she said, "Oh my gosh, it's like I'm finally head nurse or whatever her title is now, right?
Uh-huh.
Head nurse. So
Right.
that's pretty good." I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
congratulations. She goes, "But you know what? It's like I'm glad I didn't listen to her friends who've been there longer than her." I go, "What do you mean by that?" She goes, "They said they're never going to promote an Asian to be a manager."
Oh.
So at first she was like, "Really?" Oh, yeah, and then she was like, first she was discouraged. This was like a year or 2 years ago. So that's what they told her. But then she just kept trying and working harder, and then eventually she got it.
She got it.
Right? So fortunately for me, when I was going through that and I was hearing these things,
Mhm.
"Oh, you're never going to be a manager. You're a
Right,
Filipino
right.
guy, or you're Asian. You're too young. I was like, you know what my reply was? And you know me. "Oh, yeah? Watch me."
Mhm.
It was one of those, "Oh, hell no." It's like, I don't think that kind of stuff, right? Anyway, so that's what I've been recommending and suggesting to people who just recently moved. Kind of put things in the right place. So,
That's good.
Mindset.
That's good. Thank you again. Some great advice. This was a great conversation. A lot of learnings. And definitely people out there will really take a lot from what you just said. And this has been a series of talks that I've been having with other people migrating to different countries, and pretty much you can take the sense that like there's a theme there going along, like exactly what you said about your pride. You start from the bottom, you work your way up, and in the thing with countries, established countries, like Canada and maybe Australia and New Zealand, you really kind of see where your dollar is going, your
Absolutely.
taxes. Okay. So again, thank you, Ricky. Thank you for this opportunity.
Welcome.
And again, see you. Okay.
All right.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. If any of you would like to share their migrant stories with us, just message us or email us. Okay. So please continue watching our episodes every week, and subscribe to our channel. And that's all. Bye.